So Stepped On comes out December 6th.
Yes.
So you are the editor, the director.
Yes.
You filmed it.
Yes.
And is it safe to say that you're starring in it as well?
I'm not starring in it. I am doing like a little brief cameo appearance in it, but I'm not the star of the film. The star of the film is Marlon White.
Okay.
He plays the role of Calvin. And basically, it's a story about like a guy that got into some trouble, came home trying to get his life together, and he's having a hard time because his past is catching up with him in his future. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So you didn't give away the plot by telling us that?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
So tell us, how was this project, this idea born?
Well, it was a story I always had in my head. You know what I mean? It was a story like from different experiences from people I know, a little bit from my own personal experience, just, you know, growing up in this area and different little stories stories I heard. But it initially started, the project was born in 2010. I initially wrote the story down, and it was like a 25-page script. Then I added on to where it is today. So it was like a 4-year process because it's 2014. It's just not coming out. So
okay, so 4 years in the making. So for viewers who have the same type of idea, who have a script already on paper, who have been hoarding ideas, it's one thing to have an idea, it's another thing to execute it.
Yeah.
So how were you able to pull it off? How did you pull the resources, get the money? How did you pull the cast together, you know what I'm saying, to even be able to pull it off?
Well, I had no budget at all. You know what I'm saying? I used the resources that I had. I used the people that I knew. I didn't try to go for like the most popular directors or the popular actors in the DMV. I just used like my peers and people I knew and people that I knew believed in me and saw that it was my passion, and I just took it from there. But I had no budget. I went the Indiegogo route. I went the Kickstarter.com route. I tried to raise the funds, but it was like a slow process. I figured I'd take what I got, get me some equipment, you know, and just started from there. But if you are a script writer and you're trying to write a story, just sit down and structure your story. Just, you know, my script went through a whole lot of revisions. Like it was a lot of times where it's like it was the final script, then was another version called the final script, and you know, it takes a lot of time, especially character development, because you have to be able to develop your characters, because you can't write for people that you don't know. You know, every character I sat down, I got a blank job application, and I wrote my characters' names in that application, and I wrote pretty much the resume of their life. So this person had a felony, this person had a background in this and that background in that. So that's how I did my character development. So that's one of the major things you need to consider when you write your script.
Right. So it's not just about building the story; it's about building the characters and what they bring to the story.
Yeah, building the story is important as well. It's very important. It's like you building a body. Like your story is your skeleton. Your characters is like your meat on your bones. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's very important to have that.
Okay, excellent. So Stepped On is based in DC, filmed in DC. You're from DC, so.
Maryland. Super. People from DC get mad.
We claim, right? Yeah, exactly. We don't want to claim. Yeah, we don't want to claim. Yeah, no inaccuracies. So for those who are outside of the Washington D.C. area, you know, people tend to think that D.C. is all about politics. What do you think after they see Stepped On, their takeaway will be about how D.C. is, what D.C. is?
Also, not to interrupt, we did shoot some scenes in Brooklyn, New York as well.
Okay,
we shot a scene in Canarsie, Brooklyn.
Shout out to New York. Okay.
And shout out to Collado Gray. He's also in the film, New York Film Academy student, and we shot some scenes in his hood. Okay. But I want people to take away that DC is not really all about politics. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to really add that negative factor of the city, because everybody knows the history of crime and drugs in 80s, 90s, Washington, D.C. But a lot of shows I've seen lately, they're focused on politics, like House of Cards, Scandal, stuff like that. But it's more to DC than politics. It's also more to DC than drugs and crime. It's like, you know, we got stories just as well as like any other city do. And I want to be able to highlight that. There's a lot of other directors out here that, you know, they're doing things like, you know, Michael Brooks, you know, Mitch Creedle, Roosevelt. A lot of other guys that's actually doing films as well. And they focusing on the different variables of the things that's going on in the city too. So I just hope people take away, like, it's a lot of stories, a lot of talented writers and directors in the DMV area. And hopefully we can get some shine and we can get into the mix of like Atlanta and LA and New York and all these other cities.
Absolutely. So how do you, or what do you hope that Stepped On will do as far as making a mark in the film industry? You know what I mean?
I mean, hopefully, I would love the notoriety. You know what I mean? I would love the fame as well. But I mean, I just want to be able to do more projects. You know, like I don't want to keep doing urban films. This will probably be my last urban film. I'm not doing no more. I'm not trying to recreate The Wire or recreate any of these other shoot 'em up movies. But I had to grab the attention of my demographic, and my demographic happens to be into that type of stuff. But I want to do more stuff with more of a diverse cast.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Not just African American, just different individuals and everything, and different people from different races as well.
Right. So can you give us a little bit of a teaser, since you say that you don't want to continue in the direction of urban film? So what would your next project potentially be? A love story?
I have like 3 scripts that's written, ready to go. But of course they're gonna get revised as well, just as much as Step On did.
Right.
But I got a story called Small Bills about the life cycle of a $20 bill and how it circulates.
Okay.
To see, like, okay, I'll give you a $20 bill. You go to 7-Eleven and spend it. You don't know who's going to get it next.
Right.
You don't know who's going to get that change and get it next.
Right.
I think that's a diverse story, and I want the gentrification of Washington, D.C. to be the backdrop.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because money don't really stay in our neighborhoods even our neighborhoods are not even our neighborhoods no more. You know what I mean? So you can spend a $20 bill on 8th Street, and you never know who hand is going to go in next.
Right.
So that's what I want to focus on with Small Bills. And Man of the House, which is another story about a single parent. You know what I'm saying? Like, pretty much I can relate to that, growing up in a single parent household. You know, that, and also Fair Lady, which I don't want to get too much into that, but that's like a love story almost. So
So you have to keep us posted on the progress and the status of those.
No doubt.
So let me ask you this: now that you've kind of come full circle and we're coming up on the release of the film, what were your takeaways? We talked about what we want, your audience to take away, what they should look at as far as DC. But like, what were your takeaways? What did you learn from this having been your directorial debut? Your first film. What did you learn as per the process? Whether it's working with your cast, the resources that it took to build the film, the script process. What were your most significant takeaways?
Definitely preparation. You have to be prepared. You definitely have to be prepared. And you have to be around like-minded individuals that see your vision as well as you seeing it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I didn't really have a lot of resources at first, because this was my first film.
Right.
So, like, my whole crew and my team was built on people that believed in me and believed in my vision. So you got to have a lot of like-minded people around you. Had to be prepared. Get you a budget. You know what I mean? You got to have a budget some way, somehow. Is you got to network, man. Just network with people, let them know that what's going on. Try to get that buzz out early.
Right.
So try to build that anticipation of of your film. Right. But definitely get you a good team and be prepared. Get you a budget. You know what I mean? You got to be resilient, because a lot of people, like, they tell you no. Like, a lot of people's like, even when I decided to go to film school, people was like, that's a slow hustle right there.
Right.
Ain't no money in that. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta be assertive, man. Keep pushing.
Right. So you overcame the discouragement, overcame the lack of resources, lack of funding, lack of support potentially, but yet you still made it happen. So Stepped On. Right. There you go. So Stepped On comes out December 6th. So there are 2 showings.
Yes, 2 showings, 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Everybody from the cast and crew will be at the 6 p.m. showing, and then the 9 p.m. showing. Just come on to check it out. It's a good film. Like, everything. When I look at it, I get excited. You know what I'm saying?
As well, you should. If you're not getting excited, then yeah.
I'm very excited, man. I really feel like people are gonna walk away with this film and just really feel like, one thing I like about like the films like Goodfellas and Rocky, things like that, it's like you feel like you in that world when you in that film.
Right.
And even with this story, you'll feel like you're in that world.
Right.
It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, so you're gonna get lost into the characters and lost into what's going on in that world. So
and is that not ultimately like a director's objective? Is that you want people to watch it and feel you want them to be engaged and kind of feel like they're a part of the film themselves?
You want your audience to walk away feeling a certain way. You want them to feel attached to the characters. Like, even some people that have seen the movies, they have seen Stepped On, they always look at it and be like, I can't stand that guy, or I can't stand her, or the nerve of that chick to say this. Like, and I like that, because I want people to feel like, really attached to that character.
Excellent. So tickets are still available?
Yeah, tickets are available. You can go to eventbrite.com, search Stepped On Film Premiere, and just come on out, man. Tickets $15.
Looking forward to it. Stepped On, December 6th. We'll see you there.